Hey, guys, we're on a
style
show
in it.
here.
We're talking,
We're doing this now.
and we're waiting for you.
Welcome back, guys, to this epic 6-hour webcast from the International Makeup Artist Trade Show, Makeup Effects Live at IMATS 2015. We are joined by the great Neill Gorton and Christien Tinsley. Welcome to the show, guys.
You get the great.
Wonderful to have you.
You get the great.
No. Yours
I
is
just get my name.
assumed. Yours is assumed. When you say Christien Tinsley, we assume great.
Okay, well, I appreciate
We're all
it.
well
It's
trained.
It's a given.
And they're both great. They're both incredibly talented. We're lucky to have you both here.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Many of the viewers watching are going to be well aware of your credits, but as we've done with every guest, I'm going to remind those who are not aware. Why don't we start? We'll do this alphabetically. G. Or I did call him great, so we'll start with Christian. Christian. We'll start with Christian, who is also great, and he gets to go first. Christian's work you've seen in Pearl Harbor, The Passion of the Christ, Ocean's 11, The Chronicles of Riddick, Letters from Iwo Jima, No Country for Old Men, I Am Legend, True Grit, Fast 5, Gangster Squad, Old Boy, Fury, to name a few. And on TV, Mob City, American Horror Story, Behind the Candelabra, and Olive Kittredge are some highlights. He won an Oscar for technical achievement for the Tinsley Transfers, for the creation of the Tinsley Transfers. Got nominated for an Oscar for Passion of the Christ and won an Emmy for Behind the Candelabra, which, gosh, I love that show.
Yeah.
We can talk a little bit about that
we
during this
could, sure, absolutely.
segment.
Yeah.
And multiple Emmy nominations, Glee, Nip Tuck, and American Horror Story. That's Christian. Now moving on to the great Neill Gorton.
The great Neill Gorton.
Saving Private Ryan features his work, Savage Souls, Children of Men, The Wolfman, Chernobyl Diaries, Victor Frankenstein, which is coming up soon. On television, Doctor Who. We all love Doctor Who. Being Human, Jekyll, Little Britain, Critical, and has won quite a few awards himself. Some BAFTA wins. BAFTA win for Help. Also BAFTA Awards Wales wins for Doctor Who 3 times. That's getting old, isn't it? Keep winning, right?
Come on. They don't let me in anymore.
Decline the next one.
No, they literally changed the rules. You can't win if you're not Welsh now. So.
Really? Wow. You're out. Well, you got your 3.
They were kind of sick of us all winning, so they were like, no.
Also some Royal Television Academy wins for Help and Doctor Who, and nominations for Fattest Man in Britain and Doctor Who for 2 times. Yeah. 2 times for that one. So you guys have done a lot of stuff. You're very talented people. What do you think of this show? What
Very
is
talented
IMATS?
over here.
Let's talk about the show, the gathering of legends here.
Yeah.
What do you think of the show Michael has put on for all of us?
It's a fantastic show. I absolutely, I'm normally on a stage somewhere, so it's nice to actually do the show and not be doing a makeup or present, and then getting time to come and just chat with people. I mean, I've just been, kind of people I haven't met before. Christian I've not met before, so this is what's great.
This is the first time?
First time.
So the first time meeting the great Neill Gorton?
The great Neill Gorton. Well, I'm not going to be able to say Neill Gorton anymore. That's the problem. I'm going to always have to start with great.
Well, the G's are good, are good bookends for the Neill part.
Well, I'll live with it. I'll live with it. But no, I mean, it's just fantastic. And to spend time, people like, I met Tom Hester earlier, who,
of course.
I was a big fan of, and, it's legendary. It's fantastic to kind of have a bit of time to chat with everyone. And that's what's great about these shows, is just this gathering, because before this show, we basically wouldn't meet unless we actually worked together.
Yeah.
Whereas
it
now,
was pre-internet. It was pre-Facebook. It was.
Well, I was just thinking on the way in that when I was a kid, like all of us, when we started out loving this, there was Fangoria was really the only thing around that did a convention, and I would go there not because I was a collector or anything, but because I'd want to be able to sort of stand next to maybe Rick Baker or Howard Berger and Greg Nicotero or somebody, right? Mark Shortstrom even and stuff like that, and just
listen in and
like, what are they talking
notes.
about? What are they doing? All right.
Yeah, good,
and
good. That's the formula.
Exactly. So the fact that even to be able to be interviewed at a show like this, but be able to walk around and see people and have it be a concentrated gathering of like minds, it's fantastic.
It is great. We all have something in common, and it's great. We can just agree on that and then have fun together. It's nice to be around people who get it.
Exactly.
And how important it is. Neill, you have started your own event, the prosthetic event. This was your first year.
Yeah, we did it. did it in November 2014, and it went down great. You know, and it was one of those things I just kind of thought. I do a lot of teaching, a lot of students, and there's a lot of colleges in England, and they're all over the country, and a lot of kids can't get to London easily. You know, it's expensive because, you know, they do IMATS in London. It's a fantastic show, but it can be difficult. So I just kind of thought, you know, wouldn't it be nice to do something educationally based that's kind of in the middle of England, much more accessible.
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
And
Birmingham.
I'm saying it correctly.
Yeah, and it just was great. We just got a fabulous response, and it was just
Which is
it's
actually
just
north of London a bit.
Yeah. It's kind of, you know, it's in the middle of literally the centre of the country.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of kind of people who can get from different parts of the country. They can they come and do the show for a day, and get home, you know, and not have that kind of expensive hotels and, you know, all that kind of thing, which especially for students can get very pricey. So it was kind of more aimed at, you know, beginners and students, and also, you know, broadened it out to be less film and television. It's like cosplayers and body artists and all this kind of thing. But it went down fantastic. It was a really great.
And you're going to do it next year,
We're
for
gonna do
sure.
it, yeah, November 21st.
All right, so the
we'll book.
prosthetic event, and you have a Facebook page now that they can go to.
Yeah, and there's a website, which is theprostheticevent.co.uk.
When is it?
November 21st.
Should we get a travel agent on the line? And
Well,
book our
maybe. I was
tickets
going to say
right
if it's
now?
in February, that would be fantastic.
Right.
Well, a lot of great makeup effects innovation is coming out of the UK right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, 2 of the Academy Award nominations for Best Makeup are British
Mark
Yeah.
Collier
artists.
and Francis
Yeah, Francis
for
Hannon,
Grand Budapest. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And-
then
and
the
David White
Guardians of
for
the Galaxy.
Guardians.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
You
right.
know.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And it was
So-
great. I mean, we had David at the prosthetic event to
Yeah.
kind of talk, and it was the first show he's ever done, which was a real
I just met
honor
David
for me.
last week too.
He's a
Another like you
Yeah.
know Neill, David. It's been brilliant.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful.
But we're very lucky in England because we've just got so much production at the moment. There's so much going on,
Yeah.
and you know, I know that it's kind of been tougher here, and all these films have come to the UK for the moment. You know, so we've got a big boost.
Oh, don't
There's a lot of
worry.
crews.
It won't
Sorry
last.
about that.
We'll be taking it
But
back.
they'll be
the
thing
great
is,
Neill
But then they
Gorton.
all go off to Australia, and then they all go off
Right.
here, and they go off to Budapest. So it's our turn.
Well,
It's our
UK's
turn at the
having their
okay?
moment in the. It's
We're
like
having
the
a party.
Olympics every 4 years.
Yeah.
It's
It's got a shift.
Where's it going in 4 years?
Yeah.
That's maybe South America. Bruce
Yeah.
Spalding Fuller was saying, and we know full well from the school, South America loves creature effects and
Yeah.
makeup effects. So enjoy your 4 years of Spotlight UK.
But that's why I work in TV more, because
Yes.
the films do this, you know. So it's like TV's pretty steady.
Well, as we know, you're a great advocate of education with your site and with your Facebook page and with the lesson you're doing for us on Monday, Silicone Prosthetic Transfers. Christian, you also are a proponent of sharing, and I know you've developed a lot of very innovative
Some would
things.
say so. Others wouldn't.
But, you
Yeah,
know,
that's-
I think maybe we cracked the egg with you. And what is
Maybe,
your
maybe.
philosophy? This show is so much about sharing with all the educational demos.
You really
that
want to know my
Michael has
philosophy? I could
arranged.
talk for hours about philosophy.
Well,
Yeah,
you have 30
I have 30
seconds.
seconds.
Go.
No, look, it's all about giving information and sharing information, but it's also about encouraging people to come up with ideas and methods their own, which is why I don't just divulge everything all the time. And I know I get a little bit of flack for that, but the truth of it is that, you know, what inspires me is how I feel other people should be inspired. I want to know enough to go my own direction. And so I'm not much of an educator. However, I'm here because tomorrow I'm going to be doing education on prosthetic transfers. There's a company, PTM, which is promoting prosthetic transfer material. And, you know, I'm helping them out because, you know, as I travel to my sets and I work with my colleagues, the transfer itself has become sort of this simple concept. But in its simplicity, there are things that make it better and worse. And so I want people to have good experiences no matter what they're doing, no matter what kind of makeup they're doing. So I'm hopefully going to allow a little bit more information into how I produce a piece, how I apply a piece, and what we're doing with that.
And you're making the product available, you know, which is great. PTM, I know.
Well, the product's available now, and that's,
which
you know,
is wonderful. And when we
Yeah.
first did our Prosade transfer lesson with you, it wasn't yet available. It was in the works, but now finally we can say,
Yeah.
yes, you can make your own, but you can go straight to the inventor and buy
well,
some
not
of
to
the-
me, but you're
PTM.
you're getting my formula
Yes.
at the very least, and for whatever it's worth, you know, there's a quality difference. Look, I've invested a lot of money and a lot of time over the last 10 years, which, by the way, the transfer's like 10 and a half years old. I was just, we were at the Bake Off last week for the Academy Awards being nominated and stuff, and Rick Baker was there. And it's funny, Rick came up afterwards and he goes, you know, you should really win like a technical award for this transfer thing. And I go, well, Rick, I did a few years ago, but thank you, I appreciate it. He goes, no, but seriously, everybody uses transfers in some capacity. And he goes, 10 years ago, nobody even used the word transfer. And it's just fun to think that people, even like Neill Gorton's silicone transfer, now he would have done that genius work himself regardless, but it's nice to think that maybe a lot of the transfer systems David White used on Guardians of the Galaxy and the silicone prosthetic transfers, just the idea of transferring something via a vehicle of whatever it is, whether it's a mold or a flat sheet or something, has inspired a generation of people to sort of think differently.
Isn't it cool? I mean, something you started out with, and we have a story of how you started it out in the lesson you did with us, but to see it spread as an industry standard and be riffed upon by others, how
it's
cool
brilliant.
is that?
Yeah. No, it's wonderful.
And you can take notes about the next innovation in the method and improve upon that.
Always learning. Always learning. Yeah.
Has, in the last 10 years, 15 years, everything has moved so fast. I mean, I look back at some of the makeup artist magazines from 10, 15 years ago, and it's kind of bizarre because it's almost unrecognizable in the industry,
Oh, yeah.
And the innovation, for a long time there, it was the same standard processes, the same kind of mold. Here you'd make all your molds in stone, everything was foam latex, all that. The most adventurous thing people were doing was a bit of gelatin,
Yeah.
And now
we've
suddenly,
got syntactic molds.
Well, it's almost like innovation has become sort of the trick. It's no longer even can you produce an end product. It's now like how can we do it differently than the other person? How can we build this fake head differently than somebody else? And it's really fascinating because everybody has gotten into this groove, and it's so you're constantly learning now. It's like, okay, great. And it's this, you're inundated with new information always.
Well, the goal behind this webcast, Michael came to us and said, IMATS is a place where we have such a cross-section, and there's so much information being shared, and it's confined to a building, and if they can't come, they can't be a part of it. So the whole point of this webcast is to open the doors to this place and hopefully encourage makeup artists out there to do exactly what you're saying. Sort of, absorb what you guys are up to and go off and turn it in new directions. And hopefully they'll be on webcasts in the future when they become great, like the great Neill Gorton.
Like the great Neill Gorton.
I'm going to get a T-shirt printed.
We actually have a question for the great Neill Gorton. How do you get your inspiration for Doctor Who after all these years, all the different characters you have to come up with? What's your secret, sir?
Well, the great thing,
I want to know that.
And that's,
you got to remember, Doctor Who is a show that's 50 years old.
Of
the
course.
longest running sci-fi show.
And you've
in the
been on
world.
it from day one. You look so good. So good. 98 years old, ladies and gentlemen.
But there's a rich kind of, you can go back and look at what they did in the 60s and the 70s, and there's still great ideas there, and great ideas, in fact. And you can mine that and look at something and go, I can update that and tweak that. And so it's all kind of been done before. I've reached the point now, I've redesigned a lot of the classic characters. I'm now redesigning my own redesign.
Nice.
That's how I've been on the show 10 years.
So in another 10 years, you redesign the redesign of your redesigns.
Absolutely.
And well, I think Star Trek is similar. there are races that are established. So. Unless a new race is introduced, you just got to riff within that universe.
Yep.
Well, what a great show. Lots of fans of that show. Neill, I'm sorry, Christian, what about you? What's coming up that you're excited about on the horizon? In the industry in general or for Tinsley Studios specifically?
I'm excited about a lot of things. I'm excited about waking up every day and going to work now. I mean, there's always a time, and I think in anybody's career, where you start to get tired of the arguments and the problems with productions and fighting all the time. And it's like I'm waking up every day loving what I do again. And a lot of that is sort of these personal restrictions I put on myself. I'm going to pull that toxic environment out of my life. I'm going to search for this. And in doing so, every project I'm doing now is on my terms, and it's been really wonderful. We just finished Westworld, which is being produced by J.J. Abrams, and Jonah Nolan is writing and directing with Lisa Joy, and it's going to go into series. It's an HBO anthology, kind of like a Game of Thrones, but with Michael Crichton's basis of Westworld.
Fantastic.
And it's being all shot here in L.A. Sorry.
Is
Yeah.
Neill playing the Yul
We'll let
Brynner
you have
role?
a few.
He's already.
I'll let you have a few.
No.
No, he's not. We have Ed Harris for that role.
Oh,
And,
really?
But it's been fantastic because, being, trying to be as diversified as I can. I get to design the show from the makeup and the beauty makeups to the makeup effects for it, and it's just, it's been a blast. And we're doing some great projects coming up this year. Some that we already have in the bag. All of Kittredge, which came out, was sort of this little bit of a passion project because it was, with great people. Again, it was with like-minded people who want to collaborate, who want to invest in what you do as well as every department. And that's just, that's what I'm looking for. I think the business has taken a turn, and to kind of find that inspiration again to where you want to wake up every day, whether it's to the studio or whether it's to the set, it's a difficult job. So to do it with a smile on your face and not fake the smile is the real trick. That's the real trick. And I've had a great year and a half now of practicing this, and I mean I really couldn't be happier right now. It's been wonderful. It's been good,
Because you were this scowly,
I know,
angry,
man. Always like
you were
bitter
just
and
always
just
angry. And I remember, I'd
some
say,
people
hey,
might
Chris,
still
you're like,
think so. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, it's nice to see you smiling for
Yeah,
once.
yeah.
Well, it helps that you're sitting next to the great Neill Gorton.
Well, it
That'll
does.
put anyone in a
Some,
good
some of it
mood.
might rub off.
That's right.
And Neill, I know you have a lot coming up. The most important thing you have coming up, in my opinion, is your live web course with the Stan Winston School on Monday.
Which I'm looking forward to.
So
Really
those of you who are
looking forward to.
watching and want to learn directly from this man for 8 straight hours.
Yeah,
you serious?
I thought it was only going to be like an
We're,
hour. It'll be in and out and kind of
Wow.
8 hours.
It's
Whoa.
9 to 5 with Neill,
I
the
have
great Neill
20
Gorton.
minutes. What 20 minutes should I watch? No, I'm just
The good part. When's that?
The edited highlights.
So Neill, will you give our viewers an idea of what you're going to be covering on Monday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do a makeup start to finish. I mean, it's a reality now that some of the materials we have and the technology we have, you can actually turn things around incredibly quick. I don't recommend people do kind of age makeups entirely in one day, but it's just showing the techniques of, it's what we're saying, transfers, how you can approach things differently.
And this is the silicone
It's
approach, and you have
all
a
it is
two-stage
yeah.
mold making process.
Yeah, it's a mold making way of doing what it's a kind of thin skin inside a secondary layer of silicone so that you get the flat mold, the kind of scrape of a flat mold, but it's in 2 pieces. So you can peel one out and have something that's easier to apply.
And you're going to apply it, you're going to paint it, and start to finish, you're going to create an old
Yeah, I'm going to.
makeup
You
right
know,
in front of
it's
our
going to be a
eyes.
subtle piece, but it's going to be sculpt the pieces, and again, doing it without a live cast. It's kind of look. If you've got these limitations, it is entirely possible to come up with something that will hopefully look okay, and do it in very simply.
I'm going to watch you sculpt for 2.5 hours, or
No, I mean it's going to be. Basically, what I do is take tracing from the face.
You're going to have
so
to
it's how
sign
to
up
do
for
it
the
without
live
come
webcast.
on.
I'm fascinated because
Sign up for the
I saw pictures of the molds, these industrial. I mean, honestly, I really am a geek for learning
Well,
processes.
we'll give you a free
so
link if you want to watch.
please.
All right?
Yeah, because it's just how
I think
can
the
you
great
strip
Neill
it down.
Gorton can make that
Yeah. But it's how can you strip this down to the most simple way to do something, and the most efficient way to apply, and it's the fact that it's achievable very quickly. You don't need a live cast. I mean, ideally you'd have a live cast. You would prefer to do it that way. But if you're limited,
Don't need it.
there's a
Well,
lot of little
we were
tricks.
very excited when you pitched the class idea to us, and that's on Monday. There's still time to sign up. Go to the Stan Winston School website, to the live web courses page. Go to his and sign up, and you'll be with Neill for 8 hours. The great Neill Gorton, the equally great Christien Tinsley. Thank you both
Thank you.
for being here.
Pleasure.
And
I got one fan out here. I got one fan.
but he's got multiple personalities,
That's
so
right.
it's like many people.
There you go.
What's the best place to go to find you guys? Just give a shout out of your links. There are links in the description of the video. You can scroll down and find these gentlemen, but go ahead and shout them out anyway.
So what the
Gordon
event?
Studio
There's Gordon there's
website.
the school, which is gortonstudio.co.uk. Obviously, my effects company, millenniumeffects.co.uk.
The prosthetic event page.
Yeah,
to
but
get ready
there is
for next
actually
year.
there's a kind of overreaching kind of page which is neillgorton.com, and all the various kind of different links are all on that one page.
That seems like the
So,
easy one-stop place.
Yeah.
Neill Gorton, that's 2 L's.
Yep.
.com for all things the great Neill Gorton, and Christian.
We have a Facebook page, Tinsley Studio, Tinsley Transfers. I mean, you can go to any of those, but I mean, I really think that prosthetic transfer material is sort of, it's prosthetictransfermaterial.com. And they're really doing a great thing there, and it's hopefully going to help people sort of understand the concept better, be able to have good material to use for their productions. I know they're offering a special because of what you're doing here.
Yes, yes.
So if you go in and you log in and you go to the newsletter to sign up, there's a space there where you sign in and you say that Stan Winston School or the Winston Art School. When you click on that, you'll automatically get a discount of 25% off all materials. So
25% discount.
Pretty significant.
At
Pretty significant.
Prosthetic Transfer Material.
Help them out. Help them out.
.com.
Yeah.
Help them out. Support the mission, and you get a discount as a viewer of this show. Guys, you guys are the best. All right, we're done.
Thank
we're
you.
done.
Thank you.
Next up, you don't have to leave just yet. Next up, Cinema Makeup School, lead joiner Mike Spatola and a whole bunch of alumni from Face Off are going to be marching through this booth with their demos. Stay tuned. We will be right back. And please give us a final cyber applause for Neill Gorton and Christien Tinsley. We'll see you soon.